Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. If you are new to the channel, allow me to introduce myself. I am the natural Chris Black of the Saturday Night SlamCasters podcast, independent professional wrestler, and everybody's favorite narcissist. Today, I continue my coverage of the 2021 G1 Climax tournament, and we are already on night 5, which means we're going back to the 8 block. There are 6 matches to cover, 1 undercard match, 5 tournament matches, so I won't waste any more time. Let's get right to these matches. In the opening match, you have Master Waddle defeating Kosei Fujita. Master Waddle is preparing right now for the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, which will take place later on this year. I'm glad to be able to watch this group of young lions develop because I started watching New Japan about 2 years ago religiously. So the young lions that were already there were already pretty deep in their program. So this will be my first time I get to actually watch them from start to finish. It's going to be real interesting for me to take a look at how their moveset evolves because as of right now, their moveset is very limited, but as they progress with their program, they are able to do more moves. But getting back to this match, this was just an exhibition for Waddle. There was no real threat of him losing, but I enjoy these matches because they're much better than just your average squash matches. In these type of matches, the New Japan wrestlers are able to showcase what they can do in a competitive match without it being a 2-minute squash. This was the most offense I've seen Fujita have so far. In his last match, all he was doing pretty much was forearms and drop kicks. This time he even used kicks and stomps and even puts Waddle into the Boston Crab, but not one to be outshined. Master Waddle puts Fujita in the Boston Crab and gets the submission victory. Good showing for Fujita. Look forward to watching that young man develop. All right, first match of the tournament, we have Shingo Tagaki defeating Yuji Nagata. So unfortunately, if you listen to my predictions video, you know that Naito versus Shingo was a match that I wanted to see during this tournament. These two start the match out right away with strikes, Shingo gaining control first, but things begin to change when Nagata caught Shingo coming off the apron and hit an exploder suplex onto the floor. Nagata, man, he looks like he's old school stiff. But at the other hand, Shingo looks like his strikes feel like you're getting hit by concrete. So pretty even between these two. Nagata goes after the arm to weaken Shingo's offense. You know, he got to get rid of that pumping bomber and all those heavy-handed strikes that he has. I have to give New Japan a compliment because they're able to have these type of matches where the finish is just so obvious, but the matches are still very good to watch. Shingo fights back using his strength and power to overcome the old veteran, but is stopped and thrown into an arm submission. Nagata came for a fight, and just like his match against Tonga Loa, this will not be an easy match for Shingo. You know, I actually don't mind Nagata being on top most of this match. He hits a top rope exploder on Shingo, and I'm about ready to start cheering for Nagata. Shingo keeps firing up, but Nagata just shuts that shit right down each time. They go back to exchanging strikes, which the turning point for Shingo was overpowering Nagata. Shingo finished the sequence with a sliding lariat, followed by a pumping bomber, and then once he sensed that it was over, Shingo hoists him up for the last of the dragon, getting the pin for the win. After the match, Shingo does cut a promo, but you know, I don't speak Japanese, so I have no idea what he was saying. And they didn't provide much translation. So, moving on. In match number 2, we have the Great-O-Kahn defeating Yujiro Takahashi. Woo, I knew I would enjoy this match. I was actually hoping Khan wouldn't have to sell for Yujiro's weak-ass offense. Khan wants to start the match on the mat, inviting Yujiro to attack, and when he does, he catches him in an ankle lock. Look at this bitch. Okan's amateur background is on display during this early stages of the match, and Yujiro seems already blown up. We're not even 5 minutes in. He's all breathing hard and shit. Yujiro does have to get some offense in, so he does. He takes Okan to the outside. Peter distracts the ref while he uses his pimp stick, and the crowd fucking claps. Like, really, motherfucker? Okan beats the count out and then gets abused by Yujiro for a bit. You know, I'm just watching this match and I'm wondering, why the hell is Yujiro in the House of Torture? Like, Evil, you should have selected some better members. You should have picked Kenta. Like I said before, I think Kenta seems out of place in the Bullet Club so far. So for him to transition to this House of Torture probably would have been a better choice. But Evil picked what he picked. So, it's sad to see a guy like Great-O-Kahn, or any guy for that matter, having to sell this bullshit offense. Yujiro, slow-moving motherfucker. Okan begins to turn things around and is taunting Yujiro, stepping all over his face. But when he says something about Peter, Yujiro gets pissed off and jumps right up. This starts a chop exchange between these two as we pass the 10-minute mark. Great-O-Kahn motions that it's over, which normally means that it isn't. And I'm ready for him to finish Yujiro off. Shockingly, Yujiro did a move that I liked. It was like a spinning angle slam. It looked pretty impressive. I may have to steal that. We get a bunch of near falls afterwards, escapes, things like that. But finally, Okan catches him with the Eliminator and picks up the 2 points. In his next match, the Great-O-Kahn will be facing Zack Sabre Jr., and both men are undefeated thus far. Oh, spoiler. In the next match, Toru Yano defeats Tonga Loa. At the start of the match, Yano has a bag with him, which the ref takes, and then he opens it, spilling out handcuffs and tape. Yano's looking like, not me, but the ref puts all the stuff back in the bag, takes it to the outside. I'm thinking Yano's trying to pull a classic bait and switch, but we don't see anything else from the bag during this match. Tonga Loa backs him up to the ropes and then checks him some more for some more contraband. Satisfied that Yano's not holding, they go into a strike exchange with Tonga Loa getting the better of Yano. The fight spills to the outside. Tonga Loa puts Yano's shirt over his head, throws a young lion on top of him, and then quickly jumps in the ring thinking that Yano is going to get counted out. But Yano does beat the count, gets into the ring, but Tonga Loa is all over him, and he is in full control of this match. Yano does have a mini comeback, and he starts treating Tonga Loa like Bad Luck Fale, slapping the back of his head. He takes off one of the turnbuckle pads and just starts beating him with it right in front of the referee. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that illegal? Foreign object, anybody? But we get some quick pin attempts. The ref is taken out when he's thrown outside by Yano. Jado finally springs into action, jumps into the ring. Yano gets hold of the kendo stick, uses it on Tonga Loa, and then throws it to Jado, which the ref totally missed, and Tonga Loa is questioning if Jado hit him with the kendo stick. While the ref is throwing Jado out, Yano quickly low blows Tonga Loa. Kevin Kelly's monitor goes out, and he rolls up Tonga Loa for the 2 points. Ooh, that Yano, he's something else, ain't he? Getting to the next match. Kenta defeats Tomohiro Ishii. And going into this match, Kenta is 2-0 against Ishii. So after today, I guess that makes 3-0. Kenta is stalling a lot during the beginning of this match. He's taunting Ishii like a bull, trying to frustrate him into making a mistake. But after his third time bailing out the ring, he gets caught, smacked around, and then thrown around on the outside by Ishii. Kenta grabs the ring bell, nails Ishii with it, but the ref was knocked over, so he didn't see him hit him with the bell. Kenta runs him shoulder first into the post and starts working over the right arm, setting up for the game over submission. Ishii tries to fire up, but his striking arm has been compromised and it hurts to try to hurt Kenta. Kenta exposes the turnbuckle, but it backfires as Ishii throws him into the corner, eating the cold steel. Now Ishii just starts beating the shit out of Kenta, giving him chops and forearms in the corner. But with that arm being weakened, Kenta is able to swing the match back in his favor at any point. As we hit the 10-minute mark, Kenta is back on top. We're then treated to another vicious strike exchange between the two. Kenta finally baits him and locks in the game over submission smack dab in the middle of the ring, but Ishii is fighting it and is finally able to get to the ropes and tries a last-ditch effort to put Kenta away. He delivers a really nice delayed superplex off the second rope, but Kenta fights back, almost nailing a go to sleep, but then he gets headbutted by Ishii. Ishii tries his best to finish off Kenta, but he gets his head ran into the exposed turnbuckle. Kenta rolls him up, holds on to the tights, picks up the victory and the 2 points. And in our main event, we have Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Kota Ibushi. And Zack, at the start of this match, he's walking out and just oozing confidence. I mean, he tapped both Naito and Shingo. Naito, former double champion, Shingo, current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. But Ibushi is 3-0 against Zack at the G1, but that doesn't have Zack worried at all. Like Shingo, Ibushi tries to wrestle with Zack, which is not wise because he's probably one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. Speaking of which, so Zack Sabre Jr. issued a little bit of a challenge to Bryan Danielson, and he named him by name. I would love to see these two go at it at Wrestle Kingdom this year or next year. Anyway, Ibushi holds his own against Zack, but he's still just super fucking cocky, showing off during the opening stages of the match. Zack evades a barrage of kicks, knowing he needs to keep his distance away from Ibushi's PhD level educated feet. Zack tries to engage Ibushi into more grappling, but Ibushi keeps his distance by giving him some stiff kicks to his leg. Zack is now baiting him to strike, which usually means he's trying to catch hold of that leg and inflict some damage. But instead, he did catch him on the ropes, and he got to his arm. And like a shark smelling blood, he zeroes in on the hurt arm. Ibushi's only hope is to keep attacking whenever he gets the opportunity, but Zack keeps shutting it down with attacks on the arm. Zack is flirting with bringing out Ibushi's dark side because he's taunting him and just strutting around with all this bravado. He tries to get into a striking contest, which doesn't end well for him. Ibushi is able to stay alive. This match goes into full gear, both men wanting to end this. We get a good back and forth offensive attacks between the two. Ibushi goes in for the kill, tries to hit him with the Kamigoye, but Zack avoids it and like a spider monkey locks on the octopus hold, trapping his arms, then trapping his legs, leaving Kota no choice but to tap out. Damn, this was a great match. Definitely the best match in this tournament so far. Zack Sabre Jr., 3 wins, 3 submissions. Zack seems to be the man to beat in the A block. Damn, Ibushi, it's not looking good for you, player. Afterwards, Zack cuts a promo saying that he's beating everybody on autopilot and the G1 Climax is his. He starts talking shit about Naito and states 3 down, 6 to go. Words from an extremely confident Zack Sabre Jr. And who could blame him? He tapped out Naito, Shingo, Ibushi. If he could tap those 3, why wouldn't he be able to beat the other 6? His toughest matches have already been won. Man, what a night. This tournament is not turning out the way I expected, but I'm still satisfied with what I'm seeing. But as of tonight, here are the points. And keep in mind with the A block, I'm only adding the 2 points on the night that they were supposed to have their match with Naito. Otherwise, things get kind of confusing. So here are the points as it stands right now. We have Tomohiro Ishii with 0 points. Aye. Tie with 2 points, Tonga Loa and Kota Ibushi. Tie at 4 points, we have Shingo Takagi, Toru Yano, Kenta, and 2 people at the top with 6 points, Great-O-Kahn and Zack Sabre Jr. Well, it's about that time to take it home, but don't worry, there's still a lot of tournament left for me to cover. If you're enjoying my G1 coverage, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, that way you are alerted every time new reviews are put up. Be sure to follow me on social media, links are in the description. That'll take you to my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts, as well as links that will take you to the Saturday Night SlamCaster podcast host site, the SlamCasters YouTube channel, Facebook page, and Facebook group. So until next time, come get slammed.